the secrets of the noble art. The craft of hitting and avoiding being hit. The technique, the tactics, and the training that has made boxing the ultimate combat sport for centuries. Hi, I'm Ed Robinson, and over the next hour on this Ringside Special, I'll be bringing you an exclusive tutorial from leading professional fighters and expert coaches. A fascinating insight into exactly what a boxer needs to know and needs to go through to become a champion. The amateur and professional sides of the game differ greatly. In the unpaid ranks, over the shorter distance with a vest and headguard, the key is point scoring, high-tempo movement, straight shots and footwork. In the more physical pro game, fighters tend to plant their feet more, look to gain greater leverage in their punches, work the body and stay in punching range, slipping shots instead of sliding in and out of distance. However, in both disciplines, the requirements and many of the skills are essentially the same. Good balance, fast reactions, the endless repetition and perfection of the fundamentals, the drive and the discipline, the grueling, intensive mental and physical preparation. A solid stance and guard provide the foundations for attack, defense, and for footwork. Right-handed boxers generally favor the orthodox left foot forward stance, while left-handers place the right foot forward and are known as southpaws.
I'm Vladimir Klitschko, and the rest you know. That's the stand. You can choose whatever is comfortable for you. There is no particular position. Some people say you have to put your left shoulder up, you have to put your chin down, you have to put your right hand like this and left hand like this. It looks a little bit silly. So, but some guys fight this way. Some other guys fight this way. You know, hands down, but you have to have good reflexes to avoid punches. So it means you have to move around with your upper body, with your head. I'm jabbing a lot with my weakest hand, left hand. And my right hand, the steel hammer, is right behind. So I'm flexible when my hands are more down and not too high up. And of course, your footwork has to be great. Because if you are standing and not moving around, you're an easy target. So your hands are here, your legs are right, bent, and you feel them, that you can move around and hold the balance all the time. And you can punch at any time you want, just like that. And, very important boxing, do not get hit.
Good footwork is one of the most underrated skills in the game, allowing a boxer to control the distance, to avoid engaging an opponent, or to close the range and exert effective pressure. A boxer must move fluidly, but maintain balance, and always be in a position where he can still defend himself, move again, or attack if necessary.
I'm George Groves, undefeated British super middleweight champion. Talking through some footwork. So you start off, jump into your stance. For me, left leg forward. If I want to creep forward, then the front leg comes first, and the back leg follows. Just 2-inch steps at the moment. When I want to go back, the back leg goes first and the front leg follows. One important thing to remember as you're moving side to side is to not cross your legs. If you do end up crossing your legs, you're off balance, and if you do get hit, you're only going to go back. But I want to move to my right leg goes first and the left leg comes across like an arcing motion. When I want to break left, the front leg has to go first, and then you quickly chase up the back leg back into neutral position. One of the most important things, if not the most important thing with footwork, is how it's in relation to your opponent and how you can control the distance by making slight adjustments throughout the fight. One simple thing, probably the most easiest thing, is if you've got an opponent who likes to hold his ground and stand straight in front of you, you can make a slight adjustment where you step back 2 inches And then from there, if they decide to chase you up, they're walking onto shots that you've already planted your legs for. If you make the adjustment they don't want to chase you up, then you make the 2-inch step back, and then you can step straight back in and let your hands go, and you've got the momentum of coming in as well. So when you're in punching range with your opponent, or just outside punching range, it's the tiny adjustments that you make that maybe your opponent doesn't pick up on that's going to give you the advantage. For example, my opponent is orthodox, I'm orthodox, we both stand in front of each other, we both have good positions and good balance. If I make a slight step to the left, I've made that slight adjustment, now I'm on balance, but my opponent's gone square towards me. I haven't had to move his feet, I haven't had to tamper with him, I haven't even had to throw a punch, but now I've manoeuvred him to a position where even a slight nudge is going to knock him off balance. And that's the key to sometimes just looking good. So again, we're both standing in front of each other, both got good balance. If I make the slight step to my right, all of a sudden I'm outside the line of his jab. I can let my hands go without the risk of maybe getting a jab or a strong right hand coming. If he decides to throw a left hook, I'm going to see it coming because he's going to have to open his shoulder to throw it. In the strange event where you might end up getting backed up onto the ropes, and believe me, it does happen. So you're backed up, your back hits the ropes, therefore you can't go back with the 2 inches. You have to think, right, well, what can I do from here? If you don't want to stand on the ropes, tuck up and fire or punch your way out of it, you need to break left or break right. And that's usually the simplest way, is to change your head position. So it's either pull left, step left, and then you adjust with the right leg, and from there you're out. You can decide to creep away, or you can decide to stand there and let your hands go if the shots are there. If you don't want to go left, then maybe it's too dangerous, or you just want to go right. Again, change your head position. You can step across with your left leg, pull back into stance with your right. From there, again, let your hands go or move away. Or you can break right, spin right, and then creep out as well. So there's a couple of different ways to break out off the ropes.
Hello, I'm Darren Barker, world middleweight contender.
And I'm Tony Sims, professional boxing trainer. I'm going to show you how to cut the ring off.
And I'm going to show you how to avoid getting cut off. Come on.
You step across, dip at the same time, so you're not going into his punches.
And then when I'm going this way, I'm going to fake going one way and then go the other way.
And I'm going to edge forward on my front foot, step to the side if he's going to the right. As I'm closing the ring down on him, if he throws the right hand, I'm going to step, come under, throw the left hook, step and come under, and then going to close the space down on him, get him in the corner, and then you unleash. So don't let him off the corner, step out to the side there, keep him there, go to that side there, and watch these hooks come in now and then. Don't forget I taught him how to fight, and these are good shots coming.
The fundamental punch in boxing is the jab. The classic lead shot can win a contest or set up more destructive blows. The jab is the one strike where only the punching arm need move to snap out the classic straight point scorer. It can be used going forwards and backwards and can be turned up like an uppercut.
Hi, I'm Lennox Lewis, 3-time champion of the world. All right, I gotta bring you through the jab. This is a correct way to throw the jab, because you know I throw the best jab out there. The main thing is make sure you're balanced on both feet, hands up, elbows in. A lot of people box with their elbows like this. No, elbows in because for the body shot. And it really comes like this, just straight out, and as it comes out, it turns. Bam! Straight back, straight to the chin. When it's coming out, make sure your shoulder hits your chin so it protects you. Bam! Straight back. And turn it as it's coming out. Turn slightly, bam! So you hit with all four knuckles right here. And it comes back. And this right hand has to stay there. Boom! See how it stays there? And it comes out as fast as possible. And you try not to give any indication. A lot of people always go. So you're really warning the person. You want that jab to come straight like this. Ha! Ha! No indication. Okay? Remember, I throw the best jab out there.
Once the jab is established, the backhand comes into play. The right hand for an orthodox boxer, and it can end a contest instantly.
Thank you and good night. Oh, what a good shot. Right hand, that might be it.
Whether delivered straight, overhand, or as a hook, the backhand's power is generated from the turning of the hips and the transferal of body weight from the back foot to the front.
I'm Olaf Labi, world-class cruiserweight. I'm going to show you how to throw my overhand right hand.
Oh, what a punch that was! That's a finisher!
Basically, I try to set it up with a jab and draw the other guy in. Sometimes I could just go over his jab. So what I do basically is I dip and go under his jab, and as soon as he's committed, his chin's exposed. So I come over the top and I just push all the way through from my hips and my shoulder and connect on the chin, and hopefully that'll do the job. When I miss, I look ridiculous, but when it connects, it gets the job done. Basically what I do is I dip and I turn into it. I just bring the whole body. Everything has to come as one piece. You can't turn your hip and then go, or you can't go and turn your hip same time, just throw it in. Yeah, you just want to imagine you're punching through the target for two different reasons. One, if you throw and you miss, your shoulder ends up covering your chin. If you don't go all the way through and you stop here, somebody can counter you with a hook or a right hand. So you make sure you punch all the way through his face, drop, and just go all the way through it. Most of the time I don't even look at my target because I know he's going to be there if you do it quick enough. So he jabs or you jab, you draw him in, he jabs and you just drop and just throw it straight. If you land there, you got it.
Hi, I'm Terrible Tim Witherspoon, former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. You don't want to mess with me.
Hi, I'm Derek Sweet D. Williams, former heavyweight champion of Europe and the Commonwealth, and I don't want to mess with Tim Witherspoon.
I'm going to show you how I knocked out Frank Bruno in 1986 Wembley Stadium. All the British people was mad at me for no reason. Put a lot of emphasis on the right foot, and bending and leaning forward, but not letting it go away from your face when you're delivering. Don't do this. Do this, inwards, not this. You still probably can hit him, but you get more power with it being close to you. Plus, you're blocking a punch. If he deliver a punch, you're also blocking that punch. When you're throwing it, right, you just turn like that, and you're releasing it, right? Okay? But you're not doing this. You're just like hooking it in. Hooking it in. There's a long one. You still hook it, but you bring it like that. Okay? Sometimes you can jab here and get him to commit and let it go. You can go like that and whip it, okay? Well, most of the times you throw it through the crease. When your hands is up, if his hands is that low, he's out of here. But if it's up here, sometimes you just land it in like that. Land it in, boom, just hook it right in between there. Or you can hit him on top of the head, anywhere from the head down that line. You hit him, it should work.
The hook from the front hand as a counter or as a lead lands like a scythe outside of the opponent's field of vision and is a concussive weapon.
Oh, he's got it there! And Hackney's laid out on the floor!
Oh, good shot, good left hand. Right on cue.
When the weight is on the front foot, with the knee slightly bent, the boxer is primed to release the lead hook. The arm itself is locked, with the force generated from the hip.
Hi, I'm Matthew Macklin, world middleweight contender. I'm going to talk about throwing the left hook. The way to get the power in the left hook is to put your weight on the front foot and come back across your body with your body weight, and it's the whip, it's the turning the foot that generates the most power. But you don't want to be slapping the punch. It's important to keep that stiff, keeping it strong and hard. So you put the weight on, you might slip a punch, you might have thrown a right hand. A lot of the time when you throw a right hand, you're naturally transferring the weight, and then you keep that stiff and you whip the body in. But it's important also to twist on the foot, because that's when you're just going to really plant your feet and generate the power. You hear, that's where the right hand comes, but then you hear, you're set for the left hook.
Body punching saps the strength of a rival, lowers their guard to protect the midriff, and if delivered perfectly, it can have a crippling effect.
Oh, good shot indeed. It's the body shot. He's down. I think he's going to take the count. It's all over. It's all over.
The target's the solar plexus, in the centre of the chest and the floating ribs around the side.
I'm Ricky Hatton. I'm two-weight world champion. I would say with a body shot, you know, it's not necessarily the power in which you throw it. I think it's the accuracy in which you throw it. And the basic body punch is not really just a simple left hook to the body and a right hook to the body. That's dead easy to pick off, isn't it? If I left hook you to the body, Jay, you just pick it off, don't you? If I throw a right hook to the body, you'll catch it. So it's not as easy as that. I always led with my left hook to the body, and that's why I got caught with so many right hands. Because if you turn on, Jay, if I lead with a body shot, you're going to either left hook or right cross me over the top. I got caught with a lot of right hands. So what the key is obviously jab first, knock the head back, then that gives you the chance, then it gives you the opportunity then to go low. What I would do is you have got to go somewhere else first, or you know, you've got to prize them open to get that target, and so then you touch him and you come up the middle there. You know what I mean? And likewise, if I keep drilling you in the middle there, you're going to bring your elbow in. So then you touch and go around the side. If you can go to the chin first sometimes, in going to the chin, you clip. In doing that, I knock your head back. And while you're in that position, that gives you the opportunity to change the angle. And then when you change the angle, the minute you look up, you sink one in there, don't you? And likewise...
Is that too hard then, or what?
And likewise, the other way around. The idea is because the body, you've got a lot of arms to protect all that body, you know, and if I just wing away at you, you know, you're going to pick them off nice and easy. But if I go somewhere else first, if I go, say, there, and then there, you've got more chance of hitting the target, aren't you? You know, and as you're doing it, as you're going touch there, look at my body and my legs, you go, what you're doing, you're shifting your body weight in order to get that much more power in your shot. You get all the leverage into it, you know. It's not as easy a body shot by just simply going right, left. You've got to go elsewhere, haven't you?
Make them think.
Yeah.
The eye-catching uppercut can be difficult to see coming and even harder to avoid.
What's a hit?
Throwing an uppercut exposes a target as it's thrown, and so is rarely a lead shot, but is effective as part of a combination, especially to penetrate a peekaboo, hands-up guard. It's also perfect as a counter shot, or up close.
I'm Anthony Joshua, amateur super heavyweight. I'm going to show you how to throw an uppercut in two situations in the ring. Firstly, you can work on the inside in a clinch. Don't become lazy. You've got the chance of using a hook or an uppercut. So sometimes when you're on the inside, just dip your legs and drive up. So you don't use your arm. It's not an arm shot. The importance of the power coming from the foot right through to your fist and driving through his chin. So you don't want to go too wide and draw it from here. You just want to dip your legs and come up with the uppercut. Or in another situation, you can be against a short fighter, someone that comes in low, so you've got an opportunity to jab, and as a counter, if you're an elusive fighter, is whip the uppercut in. Nothing too wide as you could get countered, nice and short and speed, and drive through your legs because that's where the power is generated from.
It's when shots are put together in combination with speed and variety that they are at their most effective.
Chisora fancies he can take him out here. He might do too. He might be about to go like a big oak tree here. Nothing left surely. John King is going to step in.
One punch can be relatively easy for an experienced boxer to avoid. A barrage is more likely to result in a clean shot landing.
I'm Jamie McDonald. I've won British, Commonwealth and European bantamweight titles. The key to throwing a combination, it's all about the legs, transferring the body weight to the front foot, to the back foot, to the front foot, to the back foot, to your front foot, to your back foot. You can use an uppercut, left hook, but always transferring your body weight from your front foot to your back foot. It's very important when you're throwing a combination, you stay relaxed. Shoulders, they don't want to be tight and tense. Concentrate on your breathing, your punches will flow. And always remember to use a variety of shots. You know, there's your left hook to the body, left hook to the head, right hand, right to the body, bring them up the middle. Body, head, step to the side, nice short shots. You know, mix it up. You want to be confusing your opponent. That way, you're going to catch him with the best shots. Remember, when you're throwing your shots, keep them short, sharp, and always remember there's something coming back, so always move your head.
You can't win without hitting your opponent, but you'll also struggle if you can't defend yourself. After the break, we'll look into the sweet science of defence. We've already seen how to attack, but now the real skill in boxing, making your opponent miss and then making them pay. The simplest way to avoid being hit is to block and parry punches behind a tight guard. Blocking allows a boxer to remain in range, poised to counter.
I'm Anthony Crolla. Okay, so one of the most important things in boxing, if not the most important thing in boxing, is your defence. So now we're going to look at blocking a few shots. Okay, so first of all, a nice tight guard with a nice solid basis, yeah? If a fighter's an orthodox fighter, he's going to come with his left hand. In general, that's blocked with the right hand. And likewise, if he throws his right hand, which is his backhand, he's blocked with the left. And the same with the hooks to the head and also to the body. Not everyone's blessed with the longest arms in the world, so sometimes you have to lean into them shots on both sides. So it's there, yep. You have to lean down into him. Also, up close, normally the two general ways of blocking the uppercut is to push it down, but that can always be risky, so I always think the safest way is to just close the gap. Close the gap. In defending a shot, everyone thinks, you know, they practice defending on the back foot a lot, but coming forward, the key to like having a good defence coming forward is staying relaxed, having the confidence in you to ride a few shots. So the start was to throw a few shots, like 1-2 left up. Now, it's just staying relaxed and just staying relaxed and coming forward and pushing forward. And likewise on the back foot, if you're tense and Scott's going to throw the same 3 shots now, and I'm tense and he's going to throw him, it's like, it's you know, it looks like worse than it is. You're burning loads of nervous energy, so stay relaxed and just ride the shots out. A very important thing in blocking shots is not to overdo it. For instance, if a straight shot's coming at you, not to come out too far out to parry because it leaves you vulnerable around the sides. And also, if these hands are too high while blocking head shots, there's all this space around here to be hit to the body. Cleverer fighters will pick up on that and set traps for you.
There are variations. A cross-arm defence, for example. And some fighters also choose to keep their left low and roll the shoulder as a defence. A low guard invites an attack, which often suits counterpunchers.
I'm Kid Galahad, WBC International Champion, the prettiest British fighter ever. Most trainers tell you to keep your hands up here, but I don't. I keep my hands low because if someone throws I can see the shots coming more. If someone throws a right hand, I can slip out. Left hand, I can slip in this way. Throws the left up, I can roll underneath here. Or all depends on what shot he's going to throw. I can see all the shots coming more. When you've got your hands up, you can't see shots coming. Uppercuts you can't see coming. All depends, but this suits my style. It doesn't suit most fighters, but it suits my style and it takes a long time and a lot of practice.
Forcing an opponent to hit clean air complements blocking, utilising a half step back to avoid attacks, or using head movement to slip shots and remain in a position to counter.
Let's say hi, I'm Buddy McGirt. I am former 2-time world champion and trainer of many world champions. So let's say if you want to slip the jab, you know what I mean? I believe every fighter should have a little slight bend in their knees to make it much easier, because if your knees are straight, you have to go 1, then 2. You know what I mean? But if you got your knees slightly bent, it's just 1. You know what I mean? So if the guy shoots a jab, you can slip and step here, bam, you can counter. You know what I mean? If he shoots the right hand, you can roll under the right hand. You know what I mean? And then when you roll under, you're in position to go to the body, and then you can step out and you'll be out of range for a return shot. You know, but some guys, you know, I believe, you know, you can slip this way. You know what I mean? You can slip, depending on what kind of punch you want, the counter you want to throw. Some guys just move their head to move, but if you move it in and you say, I'm going to hit him with a right-hand counter, you slip the jab, whop, you come over top. I mean, if you want to come up the middle, you slip on the inside, come up the middle. So there's more than one way to slip the punch. You can slip it here, or you can roll with it, either one.
How do you know when to slip down to the left or slip down to the right?
Well, you see what the guy's giving you first. You know what I mean? Some guys can have a fast jab and they're moving this way, and you know, you can't get away from it, so they say, I got to get on the inside. You know what I mean? So it all depends on your distance, really. You know what I mean? If you're closer here, you can slip here. If you're on the outside, then you want to slip here, boom, and counter, and then so you're able to move out before you get countered by him. So it's all about positioning, you know what I mean? And attacking from the weak side or the strong side.
and me end up a former British and European champion.
The key to defence is to be unpredictable. Sometimes you could block the shot, you could slip the shot for a right hand, you could slip the shot for a body, for a head, you could slip the shot, come in on the inside and go to the head, or you could just literally simply step back. When you throw the jab, step back. Step back, or someone could fall short and you could throw a right hand over the top. One of the forms of defence that you can work on is things like rolling the shots, like sitting down, rolling and lift the shots, sitting down, rolling and lift shots. But at the same time, your legs got to be placed right in order for you to slip on the shot easy. Come again. See that? See the way my legs are? I'm more or less sitting down already. So when I duck, it's not much of an effort. It's just a little dip. It's a little dip. It's not a like complete sit down. It's a little dip. It's a little dip. It's a little dip, and I'm still in balance to throw back my shots. So we'll do it once again. Little dip. Maybe to fire back straight away. And I'm in balance. You roll with the punches. You sort of like always have your head moving, like always slipping. So whatever happens, you keep focused, and your head's always on the move, on the move. In a situation where like you might get hit and get caught with a good shot. For example, if I get caught with a good shot now and they hit me flush, and I'm hurt, the first thing you do is come in, clutch, just hold on till the ref comes and says break, but obviously buy as much time as you can.
Hi, I'm Peter Buckley, King of the Journeyman, 300 fights. Here's a few of the tricks I learned to survive them 300 fights. Slipping the right hand and blocking the left hooks. By slipping them, you're making them miss. As they unload, you walk towards them, you walk them back, breaking the momentum up. And they get frustrated. And then you turn them, and you have a little walk round. Tread on the foot, and they get frustrated, they make mistakes. Leave the jab there. Walk off, leave them standing there. Do little feints, bide a bit of time. Keep walking off. Behind your shoulder, get nice and close, because they can't punch you if they're nice and close. Behind your shoulder still, grab hold of them, walk them back, hold them, buy some time. And start again, spin off, keep breaking the momentum up. Switch southpaw, and back again. But make sure you're behind your shoulder so they can't land that right hand. That's how I managed to have 300 fights and keep me good looks. I'm getting tired now.
From a tight defence, there are any number of counter-punches.
I'm Tony Bellew, the reigning British light heavyweight champion.
And I'm David Price, British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion.
So for me, the easiest punch to counter in boxing is the jab. It comes, parry, throw. Parry, throw. That's where we're at.
And for someone tall like myself, another option to counter the jab would be just a simple right hand over the top. So when the jab comes, I can come over the top with the right hand down onto the opponent's head.
With the right hand now coming into play, we'd look at doing something like slipping the right hand and drawing David's lead. So being a shorter fighter, I would have to stay tight and get inside. Come inside, go to the body, go to the head. It comes right across you, slip, body punch, head punch.
With Tony throwing the left hook, at that point, we can look at options to counter off a left hook, and one of them for me, one of my favourites, is just to catch the left hook and to fire back with my own, and block and fire, and you've got the momentum to turn the hook into the opponent, and your weight's right behind your shoulder.
Another one for David's size is a big factor when he fights, and his jab is a very good weapon. So as the jab comes, his eyes are on me, you bring the right hand over the jab. So you bring your head through and your right hand over the jab. We're now on counter punching to the body. It's a quite simple thing to do. David throws the right hook to the body, I take the weight of the punch and return the weight with your own weight of your punch. It also works off the left hand as well. You block, take the weight of the punch, return with the weight of your punch. It's a quite simple manoeuvre.
For me to counter a body punch as well, it leaves some good opportunities to land a good headshot, So if Tony was to come in with a simple jab to the body, I could take half a step back, and it leaves me the opportunity to land on Tony's head with a good headshot. He's leaning over his front foot, and it gives another good opportunity to counter the body punch, but to the head.
There are so many manoeuvres to make when it comes to counter punching, but the key is to stay versatile and to mix it up all the time.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Stay off the ropes is an age-old saying, but working off the ropes is an art form.
Get good movement from Mitchell. The punches were scoring points, but they weren't doing damage, just moving with the shots.
The ropes can be used to draw opponents in and as a support to counter from. And when a fighter wants to move away, he can spin off or turn his opponent.
I'm Brian Lawrence. I've been a professional trainer for over 30 years. I'm going to show you how you fight off the ropes. My right leg is back on the rope. I can feel the tension of the rope, so I know I can pull back if I need to. Although I've got my left hand down, I know I'm giving him the right hand shot, but I'm giving him that shot just so I can pull away and come over with a left hook. So I'm setting him up for that trap, but I'm comfortable on the ropes, so I'm used to sparring like this. Right, we're going to do a little bit of work. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. There it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Pop, come back with a left hook. So you got to make them do this time and time again. There it is, and there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Pop, pop, pop. See the comeback shots. To move off of the ropes now, one thing you don't do is just jump quick off the ropes so you can walk into a big shot. A quick movement, a fighter who is quick and sharp can catch you with a big shot because you just dived off the rope. So you've got to be comfortable. So if I'm going to move off the rope for now, because I'm going to pull away and just slide away and come around. So I'm moving away from any big shot he's going to throw. I'm here again, I'll come, slide around, and turn him around that way. Otherwise, if he comes in too close to me, coming close, then I'm going to try and turn him and come off the ropes.
The ability to box on the inside, known as infighting, is a deft art in itself.
Caught again there. Froch going with a couple of his own. Tries to bully Ward, but Ward's having none of that at all.
Holding, leaning on, pushing off, neutralising an opponent, and working inside is more than just a test of physical strength that it appears.
I'm Jamie Moore, and I was in British Fight of the Year 3 times. Infighting is it's an art in itself, and first of all, you've got to start from from the outside, and you've got to get on the inside of the shots, and then as soon as you've closed that distance down, boom, 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 you can start getting the little shots off. So from this stage, you can whip them up, boom, whip them down, but it all comes from the feet. Everything comes from the feet, so you've got to rotate, boom, whip them up, boom, boom, down, up, down, boom. Little chopping shots, so you're breaking your opponent down, slowly but surely. You've got to think about angles, you can pull the elbow, bump, little shots, bump, or you can whip them up the middle, bump, bump. But you've got to stay relaxed. If you tense on the inside, you're going to get dragged about and you're going to get, jolted. So if you can get those little shots off on the inside, boom, 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 boom. See, a good body puncher has also got to be a good infighter. Obviously, again, using your feet, get that elbow, pull them round, boom, boom. So they're off balance, so they can't hit you, but you can get your shots off. Then come back down the middle, boom, whip their head up, boom, boom, downstairs, up, up. And it's about being persistent and breaking your opponent down.
Often likened to a game of physical chess, thinking boxers feint to force a reaction that they in turn can react to. Feints, essentially feigning an attack, force an opponent to react and reveal mistakes or patterns.
I'm Carl Froch, one of Britain's best ever super middleweights. So with the feint, where you're bringing your hand up to your head, basically you're making your opponent react. So if I'm throwing a fake, there's the feint. And what that's trying to achieve is, that's trying to achieve a reaction from your opponent. Now, when I throw that feint, the opponent's either going to bring his arms up or look to catch the jab, or maybe even throw a punch in response to the feint. So whatever my opponent reacts to my action, so I do the action, they react. However they react, I'm then learning something from my opponent. So if they reach out with a right hand, I'll know then to step to the side and throw a left hook. Or if they reach for the jab, if I'm jabbing, and they're catching it, and I throw a feint, and they reach to block, I could throw the feint, then the left hook goes in. So they reach for the block, bosh, the left hook hits them. So I'm basically just looking for a reaction from my opponent by feinting, and whatever they do, I've learned something from them. So the idea behind the feint, which is either that, or just simply your feet moving in, or even, that could be a feint. Anything that's going to get your opponent to react to what you're doing draws his lead, and then I'll react accordingly. So whatever he does, every action causes a reaction. And there's your feint, really.
Like art and music, once you learn the fundamentals, you can break some rules. Sometimes the benefits of trying something technically wrong outweigh the negatives. Dropping the hands to help find unorthodox angles to attack.
Hello, I'm Paul McCluskey. I'm a former undefeated European champion. Well, the way I fight is I fight with unpredictability, with movement and with my hands down. So basically, if your hands are here, of course he's going to try and hit me in the face, but as he does that, I'll either slip to the back, slip to the side or slip out. But you have to have your timing spot on. Precision is everything here. If you make a mistake, then you will get punished. So as if an opponent comes in, I'll try and judge his movement, watch as he comes, and as he comes, I'll move to the side, move to the back, or out to the side, and counter at the same time. I'm judging his eyes and his feet and his body movement. As he comes to me, I will slip to the side, throw the punch. As he comes again, I'll slip straight down and to the right, come with a hook at the same time. It has to be done spot on, with precision. As I've said before, if you make a mistake, it can be punished, but if it's done right and you do it well, the result's going to be amazing.
After the break, we'll look into yet another fascinating aspect of the game, the physical and mental training that is vital for a boxer's success. Talent and good technique is of little use unless backed up by the physical fitness to implement it. And running has long been considered an integral part of a boxer's preparation, to help shift the pounds and to build stamina. Although advances in sports science have seen changes in the way that running is utilised. The same applies to groundwork, an intense series of exercises that help develop core strength and anaerobic fitness.
For me, I know it's to change up my training as much as possible. If I do the same thing day in, day out, my body becomes accustomed to that exercise and I stop having to strive to do it because it becomes easy. I know for me, I'm an explosive fighter, a power athlete, so I've got to do a lot of power exercises, explosive, big jumps, big weight lifts. That works for me. I know some other fighters, they won't want to touch that and they'd respond badly to it. Your recovery for me is one of the most important factors. You know, you can do all the training in the world, but if you're not getting that adequate rest, the quality of rest, where your body and your muscle fibers recover and rejuvenate, then you're doing yourself an injustice, because you need your body to be firing every day. And if you deplete your energy stores and try and train with low energy stores, so you've got no motivation and energy, the technique that you do and the technique you bring to the table will be subpar. And if you're practicing subpar technique, you'll become a subpar fighter or athlete. So I think perfect practice makes a perfect performance and a perfect athlete.
Jumping rope is another traditional method to getting fighting fit.
I'm Cal Brook, your next big superstar in boxing, and I'm going to show you how to skip today. A lot of boxers skip to just to warm themselves up, go through the motions, limber up, loosen them joints up before you go in. You start stepping up and start sparring or hitting the bags, and then you can double it up, to get the heart racing. Get the heart racing and then you can bring it back down. You get a nice little good sweat on. Stretch out. A few fancy little moves for you. And that's how you skip.
Training, discipline and diet are all fundamental factors in making weight safely. And the sport is starting to embrace change and discard some dated theories. Boxers tend to go on long, sweaty runs and cut back on food. Is that the way forward?
Well, no, because water weight is not true body mass weight.
So a 2 litre bottle of water will weigh 4 pounds. So a boxer thinks if he doesn't drink water, then he won't weigh the 4 pound. The reality is when you cut back on water, your body starts to hold water, which is the worst thing you can do. So the best way to get rid of water is to drink lots of water. You go in a gym and you can see a guy that's hydrated, but as soon as he starts skipping, he starts sweating. If you see a guy skipping away and he's not sweating, then common sense tells you the guy's dehydrated. The best way in which to lose weight is to eat adequate amounts of protein and cut back on carbohydrates and fats. And what I try and get across to boxers is look at the extraordinary low levels of body fat on a bodybuilder, yet he does no cardiovascular work, and he does it through nutrition. You've got to realise there's two composites of the body that you're in control of with nutrition, and that's body fat and skeletal muscle. And if you eat energy, which is carbohydrates and fats, your body, too much energy, your body will store that as body fat. So body fat is stored energy for future use. But lean skeletal muscle is stored protein. And if you cut back on protein, your body will cannibalise muscle like it cannibalises body fat for energy. And once you start cannibalising muscle, your body thinks you're going to die, so it shuts down your metabolism and you can't lose weight. There's long-term implications as well. A lot of people don't realise joints, tendons, ligaments. You know, don't forget, training or fighting is trauma to the body. It's trauma. It's a positive trauma in training, but the body doesn't know that, and the body needs to recuperate and recover from that trauma, and it needs nutrients to do that. How can you do that when you're cutting back so dramatically and not eating? You look at an average fighter, not so much some of the 4 and 6 round fighters, they have to stay in shape, but some of the 12 round fighters who let themselves go between fights, Ed, they'll walk in the gym unfit, and they have to increase their workload yet decrease their nutrition. And, you know, it's a terrible combination.
Good preparation isn't just about raising fitness levels. It's also about protecting the tools of the trade.
I'm Emmanuel Stewart, Hall of Fame trainer and manager. One of the most important things in preparation for a fight or workout or whatever for a boxer is the proper wrapping of his hands. Normally the injuries will occur in this area here. This is the area where the bones have a tendency to like buckle up under the pressure from here. So it's very, very important to have a proper hand wrap. Not only in terms of just protection, but also maximizing the punching of that power. Right now I'm beginning to wrap by wrapping up the wrist, building up a kind of a support bridge that will come down, and I don't wrap too tight at this area because I want to leave it a little flexible so when I cut the wraps off, the scissors will come up fairly easy, so I don't want to have it too tight. As I wrap this area, I will start to apply more pressure in this area because this is where the problems occur usually. But this is the most crucial part of the hand wrap, this area here. And you must build up a lot of layers of support. Now we'll start to put in what we call this a pad, which is the same thing. It's just the same material here, just wrapped up, and I put a little tape over it so they won't unravel. But other than this is what you call the extra protection on the knuckles. The night of the fight, we do the exact same thing, only we use just the gauze. You take one roll of gauze and you just make the same thing that we have here. But you cannot use any other material other than tape and gauze. Now at this stage now, we start applying the tape. There's different types of tape. Some is thicker than others. There's one that I favor a lot, which is a waterproof tape, which doesn't unravel, but you still need to leave the thumb where it has flexibility up here to make a tight fist. Next, we'll put these strips here, and the purpose of this is to keep the pad from slipping off as the glove is put on. And by using a full piece of tape instead of a small strip, it gives you a lot more support to keep the wrist from bending down. We'll put tape here, but you can never wrap with tape up in this area. It's against the rules. The taping must always begin at least 1 inch back from the knuckle area, which in this case would be about right here. Once a person has his hand hurt, I mean, even when the hand is healed, he psychologically a lot of time would never really punch with full force. This is what is considered a good hand wrap. The knuckle area is protected. This stops the galls out of pad from sliding up the gloves when the hand is inserted in the gloves. And the knuckle is protected in this area here, but still there's permission to make a fist this way, whereas wrapping too much tape up to this point would mean he would have to fight this way, which means he could injure his hand plus reduce his punching power.
Shadow boxing is one of the most basic drills used to practice and perfect technique.
I'm Kevin Mitchell, a world-class lightweight. When you're training for a fight, you're visualising your opponent, technique, what he's good at and what he's bad at. Shadow boxing is part of your training you need to do when you're getting prepared for an opponent, as in defences with your hands. When you throw a shot, you have to slip a shot, and you have to be aware when you throw shots, shots are going to be coming back at you. You'd also have a trainer outside the ring watching on you doing your things you're doing right and things that you're doing wrong, and he'll correct you. So make sure you don't make mistakes.
Punch bags serve a similar purpose, but with the added reality of actual impact.
I'm Carl Frampton, Commonwealth Super Bantamweight Champion. Well, there's many different benefits of hitting a punch bag. You know, it's good for 3 minutes in a round to visualise your opponent in front of you, whether you have a southpaw or an orthodox or whatever style you are. Repetition is the key to get a shot perfect, and if you're not perfect with a shot, if you repeat it over and over again, it'll become perfect. Whoever your opponent is, you know, a southpaw, an orthodox, whatever, you can think of different shots to throw. For a southpaw, it'll be straight right hands. For an orthodox fighter who keeps his hands high, you could think about working the body, and different things, but it's very important for the 3 minutes of the round to keep focused 100%.
The speedball isn't necessarily about punching technique, but rather, like skipping, more about finding a timing and a rhythm.
Hi, I'm Jim McDonald, former ABA champion, former undefeated European champion, now professional trainer. This is for your hand-and-eye coordination, speed, rhythm, timing, and also, believe it or not, for your concentration. You get a good concentration, keep your eye on the ball, you've got kind of nice rhythm, so you cross your hands over, take it down to 1 and 2, speed, changing arms, changing angles, moving side to side, working, and with myself I take it with a lot of head movement, take my head into there, still finding a rhythm, not letting the rhythm go. That's boxing, there, 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 there. Getting that nice rhythm, I'm still keeping the rhythm, see me still working my own tune. There you go, all about a nice rhythm. You can see that's quality, that's under control. Ooh. That's the speedball.
Pad work, targeting the hand mitts worn by a coach, often complemented with a body belt, provides a more elusive target and allows the trainer to set the combinations and the pace.
My name's Tunde Ajayi, professional boxing trainer.
My name is Junior Saba and I'm future world champion.
Hi, this is a style that me and Junior developed in the gym, aptly named Ajayi pads. The thing about boxing is it's a very demanding sport. Once you actually put the gloves on, you have to learn how to attack and defend. So the whole point of doing pads in this manner is that it becomes second nature to a fighter, and he doesn't actually worry about or think about how to defend and to respond to particular shots. And that's how we do pads.
Sparring in the gym is the closest a boxer can come to recreating a real combat environment.
To spar, you get people punching you back, so you can work on defense, movement, also countering and hitting a moving target. Plus, actually, you need to take some punches, so obviously it toughens you up. There's nothing better than actually getting in the ring and having one-on-one combat. Well, I used to spar, especially because of my bad hands. The way I used to spar with lighter guys. The smaller guys, they have so much speed, and my strength was my speed, that it would be competitive. So I had to hold my punches back and throw a lot of shots, move around and throw many punches in the round, and that's what was best for me.
All that's left is to listen to your trainer, get your tactics right, and then give it your all.
There's a lot of world champions in the gym, but when you've got them little 10-ounce gloves, which, believe me, they hurt when you get hit with the 10-ounce gloves, and you have thousands and thousands of people watching you, or at the top, your sport, you've got millions watching you. The pressure and the stress of going in that ring, you know, when the lights are on you and fighting, it's completely different to the relaxed environment of a boxing gym. That's what sort of separates the men from the boys and the champions from the contenders. Is how you be able to keep everything bottled in, keep your composure, and execute your game plan and win.
You should be sharp stepping, making him miss, and punishing him with feints and jabs, and nothing else until it's glaringly obvious, because you're going to break his heart with your defence and your jab and your feinting. Do not slug.
Don't let him get lucky. That doesn't happen in this game, okay?
Okay, 3 rounds and you're the champion. Ricky Hatton rocks the world with a truly stunning win over a modern legend.
He's getting to him here. Oh, big shots raining through. David Hay shows his class. Oh, it's up right here. The referee might have stepped in. There's more. He stopped it.
The feeling mentally and physically and inside the heart, how great and proud and honourable, and you know how your family and your friends look at you, because you know you're the best in the world, and words can't really describe being a world champion, but it feels pretty good, let me tell you.
I urge anybody, any kids out there, to aim to be the best at what you do. Don't aim to be one of the masses, you know, aim to be number one.
As hard as the job is, it's the best game in the world, and I miss it every day. I still miss the roar of the crowd, you know, and stuff like that, and having your hand raised. When you work so hard, like boxers do in a training camp, to have your hand raised at the end, it's no better feeling.